reaction, Mariner fan reaction to what they've done at this trade deadline? Because I have to believe it's bigger than anybody anticipated, realistically. We were daydreaming about different scenarios, different players, and, well, what if they got this guy and that guy? And well, they actually did. They went out and got arguably the two most prominent bats that we knew were available. Now, the Correa deal that's going on with the Astros is a big deal, and we'll see when that's finalized. But he was not somebody that we were talking about. He was not somebody that was thought to be readily available. And the most prominent bat on the market was Eugenio Suárez.
Right.
But tons of, a bunch of teams interested, everybody making the play for him. The Mariners land him and Josh Naylor. You took their two corner infielders, and they are now part of your team, and you did not give up one of your top 100 prospects.
Yeah, it is incredible. I am just blown away by this because we've been talking about it. And it was like it's almost too good to be true that you get a guy that's familiar here. I love watching Gino play. He's got a great throwing arm. And then, just a bat. He's tied with Cal, and we now have the two top players as far as RBIs go with 87. And, yeah, it's just it's fantastic that they were able to get that done just because it's been talked about for so long. I was like, it was one of those things too good to be true, probably not going to happen. And, yeah, now all of a sudden at the corners you answered those questions, and it's just feels great, especially, hearing all of the reaction. And we'll hear from Cal Raleigh, but, that these guys feel like this team is investing in winning a championship. And that's the thing that, Cal Raleigh had been talking about for, since the end of last year.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that Gino will be in the lineup tonight from some sources there. So we'll see when that becomes official, but I'm expecting to see him in the lineup tonight, and I think it's going to be a huge boost to this, not just the product on the field, but we'll play Cal's comments in a moment, but I think he's incredibly popular in that clubhouse, or was incredibly popular, and will be once again, I would imagine. But it's just, look, I don't think there's anybody on this station that's been more critical of Jerry than I have. You got to tip your cap to him. I'm going to tip my tiny cap to him and Justin. Yeah. I mean, for them to go out and get Suárez, get Naylor, get a bullpen arm, and we'll see if they do anything else. There's less than an hour, 2:05, so the deadline is 3 p.m. 3 p.m. our time today. So we'll see what they get done if they do anything else. But for them to go out and get two corner infielders, and the two we were daydreaming about, like, man, if they could get both of them, how cool would that be? You got both of them, and you got your bullpen arm.
Yeah.
If you're like me, if you've been a critic of Jerry and Justin, I get it, and it's warranted in a lot of cases, but this is one where if you're being fair, you got to tip your cap and go, well done, man. They provided the pieces. Now, this is on Dan. This is on the coaching staff and the players to get it done. There are no excuses.
Yeah, totally. I mean, because that's always we've said also that Jerry and Justin, they're also under constraints as far as financially, but ownership all in, and I mean, there's really nothing to complain about. So you're right. I hadn't thought of it that way, but now all of a sudden it's like, okay, there's probably going to be a little bit more scrutiny on the other players, stepping up, and Cal continuing to have the year that he's had, and then Dan Wilson. And how he manages this whole thing. So
53 games left. You got 53 games left in the regular season to make it happen with this roster. So they gave you the tools, they gave you the ingredients. Yep. Now make the meal. So it's on there. I love it. I love what they did. I don't. Again, text in if you don't like it. I don't know what you would be disappointed in if you are. Curious to hear that, but I've got to imagine even the biggest critics out there of what this team has and has not done, of which I have been one. I put myself front and center on that. Got to tip the cap and go, well done, well done, and it puts it all in the lap of the players and the coaching staff to get this done. So, I was fired up when I saw this. I'm like, they got him. They got Gino, and then considering you didn't give up a single one of your top 100 prospects. You gave up your number 9 in Locklear, the only top 10 prospect as far as the organizational rankings. It was the only top 10 prospect they gave up.
Yeah. Well, and, we talked about him yesterday and that he was raking at AAA Tacoma. I mean, he was leading the team, and as far as games played, at bats, hits, home runs, stolen bases. Actually, he had 18, and so he's playing really well. But that's one where I'm like, if this guy does continue on this pace, Tyler Locklear, and let's say that at some point he becomes like an all-star, won't care.
Yeah,
really won't. I didn't think that they gave up any of those real flashy names like Senja or Stelton or
Ford or Montez or any of their prospects that are in, like, when you look at MLB Pipeline, you look at the national rankings. They didn't give up any of those.
Yeah. So I mean, and that the other thing I was looking at, and they had this stat on MLB Central this morning, but Gino, 166 games at T-Mobile Park. He's hit 29 home runs, 29 doubles. So good numbers there. And I just feel like his bat goes wherever he goes. And it's like I said, too good to be true.
Yeah, it's again, text in 866-979-3776. Do you like the deals? Do you not like the deals? You address both corner spots of the infield. You address the bullpen, perhaps another arm. Well, again, we'll see what happens before the deadline if anything else happens. But I think you got to come away with this feeling extremely optimistic, excited, happy with what they've done. And now it falls into the player's lap, falls into the coaching staff's lap. And as much as you're excited about what it produces on the field, I think it's a big deal off the field. And you got your leader. Cal Raleigh is the leader of this team. I think Julio's still the face nationally, but the leader in that clubhouse, I think they defer to Cal. He's that voice. And here's what he said about the move and what it says about the front office's commitment to winning.
This is what we talked about in spring training when I was looking to sign here long term, and these were the things we talked about, these moments, and it makes me feel good about those guys following through, and we played good enough, not great, but good enough to make some moves in the deadline, and they came through for us. So it's on us now, and we have to go out there and perform. And I think with these two additions, and hopefully maybe another one, or we got the Caleb Ferguson too. So who knows what else will happen, but it's been great so far.
Sounds like he's excited about Ferguson as well. But yeah, I mean that's exactly, he was the guy we heard from at the end of the year last year. And, that's was part of the conversation, it sounded like, when he signed his long-term contract here. Yeah. That, are you guys all in? Because if you are, I am. Yeah. And, love that. I love that leadership. And, Cal, very quiet guy, but, he carries a lot of weight in this organization. So, and for him, I would expect him to continue to play really well and perform because, he got what he wanted. And it was kind of shocking to hear him last year be so blunt about it. And I thought it was awesome that they put that kind of investment in him and then followed up. And it was something that at the time I was like, wow, Cal speaking up, that's pretty amazing. But it also tells you how much how they feel about Cal.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
as if the $108 million wasn't enough.
Yeah, I think they expressed that financially, and I think they've made it clear that they love him. He talked about what this trade means for their chances in October.
I mean, I feel amazing. I felt good even going into today. But even better now that Gino's here, and it's no knock on any guys that are in the clubhouse right now. It's just how good Gino is and what he brings to the clubhouse and what he brings on the field every day and the consistency. So. Anytime you can add somebody like that to your lineup, it's a good day. And like I said, we're thrilled to have him back, and it's I think it's going to take a lot of relief off some guys.
Yeah, I think it's huge, and this was cool. I don't know if you heard Shannon Dreyer, our Mariners insider, talking about the plane being delayed last night, and then trying to figure out why it's delayed. And on the plane comes Gino, and the reaction. This is cool. This tells you how this clubhouse and this team feels about him.
One of the neatest moments I have seen on the plane in my years in traveling with them. It was one of those, it could have been a tough flight. They lost a ball game. They had the night game before another game at home the next day, and they're deep into 17 straight. When we got to the airport, we went through security, we got on the plane, and we were sitting for a little while. And it turns out that they were holding the plane for Gino and his family. And they didn't tell the players that that's what they were doing. So after about a half an hour, all of a sudden it got a little bit loud at the front of the plane. Gino got on the plane, and you could hear the cheering. And then this was just the neatest thing, and it's so Eugenio Suárez. He proceeded to walk the entire length of the plane and hugged every person on it. When he got to Perry Hill, you could hear up front Perry just yell an emotional, "Stop it!" Which is what he yells when he sees the good play on the field. It was just the neatest moment to see him get on the plane. Spoke very briefly with him, and he just said, "I am so happy."
How about that?
That is so cool.
I mean, to get that reaction from the team, the guys on the plane had no idea, why are we being delayed? We're just sitting here. And then to hear them all of a sudden erupting in cheers in the front of the plane, and he hugs everybody in every seat all the way to the back of the plane.
And kudos to them for, kind of keeping it quiet and making that like a special moment. And, I mean, we had a chance to talk to Gino when he was here, and I didn't know what to expect at the time. And what you got was just like one of the sweetest people ever. And just a great guy. Everybody loves him. Does he have like 4 little girls or 3 little girls?
I'm not sure.
So it sounded like they were all on the plane as well. So, that's really a cool moment. I think it was 2019 where they delayed the game a little bit because there was a game on TV. It was the Niners, and the Niners ended up losing so the Seahawks could get into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And, they held the plane for a little while just so everybody could see the end of that game, and that's just one of those great moments that you create and, that you'll always think back on. So, that's really cool, and it seems like everybody's really happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, that should give, even if you look at this pessimistically, which I would question why you would, but if you do, look at the reaction of the players in that clubhouse. That is a big deal. It doesn't ensure victory. It doesn't guarantee anything. But man, the impact is right there when you see that reaction. Yeah. And you've seen what he's done this season. He's not going to do it by himself. The rest of these guys have to hold up their end of the bargain. That's Cal. That's Julio. That's Rosarena. That's all the guys we talk about every day. But it's just the feeling that they get, first of all, having a guy that they absolutely respect and like and adore back on the team with them, a producer. And I think the message from management and ownership saying, hey, we're going for it. We believe in this team. We believe in their chance. There's a window here right now with the AL being what it is. We can win this division. We can make some noise in the postseason and maybe get to a World Series. I mean, it's all right there for them. And you got 53 games left to work with to make it happen.
Yeah.
So it's just, and by the way, in the corresponding move, Miles Mastroboni has been recalled from AAA Tacoma. Ben Williamson has been optioned to AAA Tacoma, which, you know what, he's got nothing to hang his head about. He played tremendous defense, and you may take a bit of a step back there. He's a better defensive player than Suarez is. Yeah. He doesn't have the arm, but he's better in terms of his range. Yeah. So maybe take a bit of a step back there, but he showed his value. He's obviously got to work on his strength and his, working with a little more production from that spot. But his future is bright if he can get that aspect of his game up to snuff. He's a heck of a player. He had a nice run here. So kudos to him for his time here, but he's been optioned to AAA Tacoma.
Yeah. So, I wonder what that was like for him.
He had to know this was, all the conversation about we got to address our corner spots. We got to address he heard that stuff. I can't imagine he's surprised. I'm sure he's bummed. Obviously, it's been a nice run. He's saved the game the other night. He had the game of his life, and he's being interviewed after the game, and Julio's walking into the interview and praising him, and he's got a lot of respect from those guys. So yeah, I'm sure it's hard, but I don't imagine it's a surprise at all.
No, and it's going to give him a chance. I was trying to remember because Gino's 215, I think. Ben Williamson, he's listed at 210 anyway, but he knows what he needs to work on. Really, that's pretty much it.
I feel like Gino's bigger than that, but
you think?
I feel like he is. Yeah.
Yeah, but for him, that's really the only aspect of his game. You went from a 600 OPS to 800, right? And that's something that he can work on in the offseason, and he was, great kid. I'm sure he'll handle it fine, but yeah, it kind of sucks for him, but that's all part of it. Growing up and becoming a veteran.
Yeah, so right now this team is tied with Texas for that final wild card spot. They're 5 games behind the Astros in the West. They're 2.5 games back of the Yankees for that first wild card spot. They're 1.5 games behind the Red Sox for the second wild card spot. So that's been shifting every day. One day they own the second spot. Next day they're a half game back. I mean, that's how it's going to go throughout the rest of the season, you would imagine. But just to give you a sense of where they're at, they are tied for that third wild card spot with the Texas Rangers. So that's obviously puts a tremendous amount of importance on this series, this 4-game series that starts tonight. And a quick call it now question for everybody, not just us, but call it right now. Make your claim right now. Do the Mariners make the playoffs?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes. I mean, I think anything less will be a huge disappointment. I mean, they're
100%.
Yeah, they're built for it. I mean, especially getting in the playoffs with the rotation they have, and hopefully that'll all come together. And and you got a chance to go head to head with the team that you're tied with in the wild card race with Texas. And I thought you were going to say how many games are they going to win out of this 4? But I think people are expecting to take the series, I would think.
Yeah,
anything less would probably be a disappointment there, and then. Especially going head-to-head with the team that you're in a tie with as far as the playoffs go. And, as far as the rest of the season, I think expectations are going to be very, very high.
Yeah, text it in, 866-979-3776. Make your call right now. Do the Mariners make the playoffs?
206 says, I can't lie, I cried last night in excitement.
I love it. I love it.
Can't wait to go to tonight's game and see him in an M's jersey again. And it's kind of funny because he'll look so familiar. You look at...
that place is going to go nuts, by the way. As soon as he's announced.
But you look at Josh Naylor in that Mariner uniform, and it's still, you can't quite get used to it.
Yeah.
But Gino, he's going to look right at home, man.
Yeah, it's going to be that building is going to explode when he's announced, when he steps up to the plate. We'll see where he's at in the lineup, and that's again what I'm hearing is that he will be in the lineup tonight. But call it right now. Again, text it in 866-979-3776. Do the Mariners make the playoffs? Yeah. I'm with you. I'm saying yes.
Yep.
Saying this is a playoff team, and this is. But now all of our focus should shift to the players and to Dan and that coaching staff because
they got to get it done.
Even the biggest critic, pessimistic person in the world, fan in the world, you got to tip your cap and say, hey, they went out and did it. They went out and got prominent player. They didn't go out and get the carcass of what used to be a good player. They went out and did it. So kudos to the Mariners front office, to Jerry, Justin, and ownership for making this move and going in on what feels like a very real opportunity. Make your call, Lefko. Did they make the playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah.
They win the division.
Win the division?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going bold there.
Have you looked at the text line right now?
I haven't checked it out yet.
I've never seen so many people texting in. It's like every second it refreshes. And everybody is just fired up.
They on board?
And everybody says, yes, anything less than making the playoffs would be a disappointment.